Hey, what's going on YouTube? Aaron here. And as I was writing the notes for this in my trusty iPhone 4, I realized that y'all are probably going to call me stupid, and you all might not be that far from the truth in saying so. This video is going to be about Kevin. So, yes, if you all saw our previous video, our breakup video, he slid in sort of at the end this fact, and I was like, well, it was mutual. And yes, it was a mutual decision, but I was the one who initiated that decision to break up because we had gotten into a intense disagreement about something, and he blew up about it. He's got a little bit of a temper, but I will say that he calms down overnight. And sure enough, the next day he came back and he was saying, he was like, "You're still my baby, right?" And I don't know, something about it, I was just like, "Nah, what you mean I'm still your baby?" And I got all I'm kidding, I didn't get all Tamar Braxton on him. But I was like, "No, what are you talking about? We are not together anymore." And he was like, "Oh, okay." And like I said, he has a little bit of a temper, which is true. Y'all got to see that in the comment section of our breakup video because people were commenting, and I guess it upset him, and he was like, "Y'all need to mind y'all own business. Y'all don't know nothing about what went on. Y'all need to," and I was like, "Whoa, Kevin, calm down." And I even offered him the opportunity later that same evening, though. I was like, "Do you want me to remove your comments in case, maybe you were just saying that out of anger?" And he's like, "No, it's how I felt. So that's what I put on there." And I was like, "Okay, but people are entitled to have their own opinions. And that's what YouTube is all about. That's what social media is all about." So he shared his opinion, and I didn't agree with it, but again, people are entitled to have their own opinions. It is what it is. But I'm not gonna lie, I like a dude with a little bit of a temper and who is stronger than me and can overpower me. And I'm not gonna like call me crazy, but I like that. And he definitely is both of those things. And what I appreciate about his temper, again, usually when he sleeps overnight, he gets a good night's sleep and he's totally calmed down. And we've never gotten into like a physical fight or anything like that. But he does have a temper and he will raise his very powerful voice. Yeah. But like I said, I've always fantasized about having a dude with a little bit of a temper and who's stronger than me. And he is those things, and I guess I thought I'd be able to handle that better than I actually have. But it is what it is. In addition to being a gorgeous thick dark chocolate dude, which you all have heard me talk about liking for a very long time, although he's working on losing weight and it looks like he actually is. But one of the things that he did, one of the things that I like about a strong dude is the feeling of security, the feeling of protection. And one of the things that he did when we first moved into this place is they actually put a sign on the doors because they always communicate with the places in the community with these little signs and the knocker on the door. And they were like, "Hey, just to let you know, sorry, not sorry, but there have been a number of break-ins in the community. So just be sure to lock your door and it'll be all good." So when we found that out, it was like, what? And one of the things he did was, in addition to suggesting that we get a security system, which we did get, he also found like a little bat thing somewhere in the house. And he was like, "Yeah, if somebody comes through his house in this door, pow, 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 you know? And I'm not gonna lie, that kind of turned me on a little bit a lot. Because I was like, oh, protection. Thank you, baby. And he's a really nice guy. And we also like similar music and television and even porn. And I'm sorry, okay, so that part's a little explicit. And the next couple of seconds will be a little explicit as well. But just in terms of what I'm referencing, if you all saw that old video that I did, I think it was a couple of years ago at this point, talking about porn, that'll give you an idea of the kind of porn that I'm talking about. Okay, children, you can uncover your ears, come back. I will say he's more of a Tyler Perry fan and I'm more of a Spike Lee fan, but I like that contrast between us. You know, like he loves his Madea. He stays buying some Madea stuff, and I cannot deal with the Madea. Although I'm not, you know, so in spite of our Tyler Perry, Spike Lee difference, we can come together with a good episode of Family Guy or The Cleveland Show or Keeping Up Appearances and enjoy and laugh our butts off to that. Now, I also like that his personality is like the other side of mine. Like I have this type of personality and he has that type of personality and we'd come together. And it's interesting because I can just watch what, like, he's very likable. And it's interesting because even just watching people interact with him versus how they interact with me, like you can just tell that there's just something about his essence, his spirit, if you will, that people just gravitate towards. People, he's very likable. People like him, while with me, people, I'm not that likable. I'm not gonna lie. I'd like to think that I'm likable, but I think that I'd be lying to myself if I said, I think some people can like me, and there are certain types of people who like me, but I'm not as likable as he is in the general sense of the term. Like, he makes me laugh, and I actually make him laugh too. Like I've always said, I want a dude with some smarts, who's down to earth, and has a sense of humor. We make each other laugh, for crying out loud. And also, Kevin is a hardworking man. He is a hardworking man. And he works a good manual labor job, I'm not gonna lie. And I think that in my fantasies, I've always fantasized about like having a dude who works like a manual labor job, who when he gets home from work, you know, since I work from home, when he gets home from work, I'd be able to be like, oh baby, you had a long day, like give him a massage and like make him feel good and all of that stuff. And I guess I haven't been on my P's and Q's as much as I could have in terms of that. Like, I'm not gonna lie, kids, cover years and other moments. Sorry, but I don't think that I gave him as much sex. I know that I didn't, and I thought that was very interesting about him, how before dating me, like dudes were throwing it at him left and right, and he was taking it, you know. But when he started dating me, he was actually willing to wait because, you know, I had been saving myself for somebody special, and I made him wait. Like I said, like y'all saw in that first video that we did, you know, he waited for me and he acknowledged that I wasn't as sexually active as perhaps people he had had in his past, and he was willing to work with that, and I appreciate that aspect of him. I'll also say that, and I'm not gonna lie, like since I gave it up to him, Wow, I just realized saying that like it felt interesting rolling off my tongue like that, like I'm revealing too much to y'all. But since I gave it up to him, when we broke up, I was like, in my mind, I was like, I'm gonna be a trick. I don't care. I'm gonna slut it up however much I want to, whenever I want to, and it is what it is. Can't nobody tell me nothing. And then I spoke with this dude, and we got into a conversation about STDs. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. I really don't want to get one of those. So I'm good. Thank you. So I'll continue to be a bit of a prude. Lastly, the thing that sort of sealed the deal for me with him, he's such a great guy in terms of like dealing with my MS situation, multiple sclerosis situation. Like sometimes my balance will be a little bit off here or there, and he'll like reach out a hand to catch me and hold me and all of that stuff, and I'm like, oh my goodness gracious, he's so sweet. But I'm not gonna lie, I feel that it's important for me to continue doing stuff for myself, because if you don't use your ability, you will lose your ability, especially with MS. So that's why I'm like, ooh, you know, like he would always grab all of the groceries when we'd go grocery shopping, and he'd pick them up and bring them all into the house, and I'd be like, Kevin, let me get some of the groceries, my gosh. But he would grab all of the groceries and everything. And I'm not gonna lie, like when we first broke up that first weekend, I did feel a little free, to the extent that I was actually doing those things for myself, which I hadn't done for myself in a while. But that's because Kevin would always do it for me, because he is such a sweet guy and he wouldn't want me working too hard. And I'm like, but Kevin, I have to work hard. You know, I have to overcome this thing. And one of the things that he said to me when we early in our dating is, I remember we were in our car, we were at Federal Hill, and he was like, we're going to get through this MS thing together. And just something about him saying that. I mean, my goodness, you guys, we share a dog. Golly. Talk to y'all later, YouTube. Just wanted to get that off my chest. Peace. Be blessed.